Thanks for tuning in to Say What Now? Reddit Stories. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment, and don't forget to turn on those notifications. And now, on to the story of Am I the asshole for getting a paternity test on my son who doesn't look like me? Yes. Okay. I'm a 29-year-old white guy. My wife is 30 and black. We have two kids, a 3-year-old girl and a 5-year-old boy. My wife got pregnant with our son early in our relationship. We had only been together for a year, and we got married because she got pregnant. Fortunately for us, we are actually happy. When my son was born, I accepted him as mine. However, I couldn't help noticing how little he looked like me. He is noticeably darker than my wife. He doesn't look half white. My family and friends have asked if I'm sure he's mine. I had doubts, but I initially decided to trust my wife. I loved my son regardless. When our son was 2, my wife had our daughter. I had no doubt she's mine. She looks just like me. She even has my blue eyes. I never realized how powerful it is to know a child is yours. I bonded with her easier because there wasn't the question of paternity dangling over our heads. My family bonded with her faster too. Her resemblance to me convinced me that my son is not mine. I try to always treat them equally as I see them both as my children, but I realized I was beginning to resent my son. It felt unfair that I had to take care for someone else's child. I also began to resent my wife because I felt she had betrayed me. I finally got a paternity test in secret. I was relieved to learn that my son is in fact mine. Oh, duh. Genetics are weird. Are they? Anyways, that was 4 months ago, and my relationship with my wife and son improved dramatically. I feel much closer to him now that I know that he's mine. My wife and I have even been so happy that we were talking about having a third child. I confessed to my wife I got a paternity test. I hated keeping the secret and I thought she would understand given how much he doesn't look like me. She flipped out, rightfully so. She asked me if I ever doubted our daughter. When I said no, she called me racist. It's not true. I didn't prefer my daughter because of her whiter features. I just knew she wasn't mine. She also said that I made our son feel unloved for no reason for all those years. I said that's bull. No, it's not. You literally just said you resented your son. Even when I didn't believe my son was mine, I treated him as though he were. No, he didn't. My wife says she wants to move out and take our children after the quarantine. It's been about a week and a half and I'm still on the sofa. I hoped she would have calmed down by now, but things haven't changed. She's just so furious with me for not trusting her and for, in her eyes, denying my son because he's dark. She barely talks to me unless it's about the kids. I don't want to lose my family. Here's where I turn to you, Reddit. Is it so awful that I had doubts? I still took care of him. I don't understand why something like this is wrecking my marriage. I think she's overreacting. So, am I the asshole? And there are two updates. Update one: my wife and I are separated currently. I moved out so she and the kids could stay in our home. I'm staying with my parents for now. I don't get to see my kids as often as I would like to. When I have a more stable living situation, we'll have joint custody for them. It's been very hard on me and the kids. I talk to them on the phone every night, and they both keep asking when I'm coming home. It breaks my heart that I can't answer the question. My daughter is taking it the worst. I feel awful that her world has been turned upside down by her own parents. I miss my family, I miss seeing my kids every day, and I miss my wife. Our relationship has been put in limbo for now. She says she still needs space to process and doesn't know if she'll ever be able to forgive me. I've apologized in every way that I know how to. At this point, I just have to give her the space she wants and hope she calms down. It would be horrible for us to throw away what we built. If separating has been this hard on the kids, divorce is going to shatter them. She seems open to seeking couples counseling. It gives me some hope that we can work past this. As for Reddit, I admit I didn't want to hold myself accountable before. I couldn't see how my actions were subconsciously harmful to my son. It was never my intention to be racist, but I did treat my son differently due to his skin color when you strip it down to the roots. I realized how bad I effed up when I felt ashamed, thinking my wife has probably told her family why we separated. They used to think really highly of me. Now they all probably think I'm a racist. I have no one to blame for this but myself. With all the craziness going on in the world, I know that I need to be more aware of my actions. My kids deserve to have their family to be a safe haven from racism. It scares me thinking about the type of world I will send them out into where they will be racially profiled in most places. I can't imagine if it were my son on the news instead of one of those other poor guys. I'll never let anything get in the way of my relationship with him again. Update 2. I'm single. Well, we saw that coming. My ex wife and I had our divorce finalized in 2022. We had gotten back together for almost a year after I told her about the paternity test. I made promises to be a better husband, and I believe I kept those promises even though it didn't work. Unfortunately, things were not the same despite both of our efforts, including months of couples counseling and private counseling for her. The fact of the matter is, she never forgave me enough to trust me, so it was never going to work. Towards the end, she didn't even want to be intimate with me in any way, so much so that I slept most nights on the couch or in my kids' room. We became roommates. I would have kept trying to fix things forever, but she was willing to face the fact that it was way over before I could. I still have a lot of love for her, and I will think about her forever. I'm not ashamed to say I haven't gotten over how devastating it was, even though it's my fault. I developed depression badly, which I know some people would say I deserve. I even had to quit my old job due to it. I still miss her, and even more, I miss what we had together. I dread that day I will hear that she is in a relationship with someone else because I know it will come someday. I have an apartment to myself now. It took a while for me to get on my feet. My kids are now the my son is 8 and my daughter is almost 6. Spend every other weekend with me and I get them 50-50 when they're on breaks from school. My son is very athletic and is very good at soccer. As he has gotten older, I've seen more of myself in him than I did in his youth. I haven't heard about the paternity test and I hope he never will. He's a great kid. I work hard to make up for the time lost when I was anxious to get too close to him. My daughter is still my mini me. She loves me almost as much as I love her. She's athletic too, loves gymnastics and soccer. I think a lot about how if I hadn't needed a paternity test, they might have another sibling. Not a good thing to dwell on. My life went in a direction I didn't expect. It's not perfect, but it's getting better every day. I have a lot to be grateful for, and I remind myself that when it's hard, my kids are all that matters. You know, I feel like when people get into relationships, no matter the skin color, people forget that the child doesn't have to look like either one of you. I don't understand how people miss this in school. Like everybody went to school. It's really not that hard. A child can look like a great, 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 great grandparent from way back when. They do not have to look exactly like you. They don't. As much as you would love it, they just don't. And then for the fact that your son came out and was darker, like newsflash, your wife was black. So you decided to get into a relationship with someone who is of a different ethnic, a different race because I can't get it out. I'm sorry. And didn't factor in, oh, if we have kids, it's a possibility that he could even be darker than her. And, duh. And then to sit here and try to sugarcoat as if, oh, I loved him dearly and I was still caring for him. You were physically there, but you were not there. Period. People forget that that can be a thing. You can physically be somewhere, of course, because your body is literally there, but you mentally, you checked out, sir. And as a mom, we're going to come in and be mama bears. So now I got to come in and step in and say, forget you, forget your feelings, and forget your apology. And that's saying it nicely. And I'm going to take my kids and I'm going to do what's best for my kids because you're not going to come in and disrupt their lives with your ignorance. Now, I can't sit here and say whether or not you're racist because I don't know you. It's very much giving ignorance. And it's something that you should have thought about when you and her got into a relationship. That should very much be a thought process. The thinking of what can happen. Not what can happen like that, but like just okay, our kids are not going to look how my family looks. Just things of that nature. You should very much be aware of that. You should have already been aware of that. I don't really understand how you weren't, but and then for the fact that your family bonded better with your daughter over your son is just very telling. I applaud your wife for leaving you. She should have left you a long time ago. But what do y'all think? This one that comment down below, like and subscribe, let me know. Until next time, bye bye.